Being is full. Fullness there, fullness here, fullness around. If you take fullness out of fullness, fullness remains. This is meaning of the Sanskrit prayer. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Purnamada Purnamidam.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. Thank you for your patience for us going live today. So welcome to this 4-part series where we will be hosting 4 different sessions to decode the quantum realm. And what we're going to be doing over the next 4 days, the 28th through the 31st, is to use the teachings that Dr. Pillai has been freely giving out over the last couple weeks in his quantum thinking series. And we're going to break them down so that you get a more bite-sized piece of what he taught every day for the next 4 days so that you can implement it into your life. What we want you to be able to do is take away these valuable teachings that he's been given us and use them as we move into our new year. He really wants us to capture 2023. And he literally said, do not let it slip away. Do not let it pass you by. And in order to do that, that's why we're providing you all the possible resources we can to help support your journey. We are also going to invite you to join Dr. Pillai's live session on New Year's Day. There's another one on January 14th, and there's actually a year-long program that you could participate in as well. So first, we'll get into the teachings of the first session that he did. I think it was a week or so ago, where he talked about the quantum physics of negativity and positivity, and how important that aspect is in order for us to be able to quantum think. So we'll find out what quantum thinking is, the and how to shift our mindset into the positive aspect of what is required in order for us to be inside of the realm of the quantum mind. So if our video is ready, we can go ahead and play that now. So as we're setting that up, a little bit about how this session will go. We're going to play the video of Dr. Pillai. It's 15 minutes in length. It gives us his description of quantum thinking, of the quantum reality of negativity and positivity. And then we are going to move into questions and answers and really break down how you do this at home. So here is our video. Now we'll watch this together and we'll come back in 15 minutes.
Why do we care about quantum thinking? Even before that, what is quantum thinking? Simply put, quantum thinking is a subtle or the subtlest thinking. Quanta is the finest matter. So your thoughts should become the subtlest. And when you are at the subtlest level, reality changes. Now we are living in 2022, where the scientists have proved that the observation decides the particle. The particle is non-existent until it is observed. And, this is a very important and a practical concept within quantum physics. A particle doesn't exist at all until you recognize that particle is there. Until you recognize, it's a recognition. I can go about talking about it, bringing in Plato, bringing in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and Vasishta, all these people. I will do it in the one-year program, but for now, for you to understand, quantum thinking is the subtlest form of thinking, or the very innermost part of your existence thinks that you are poor, or I cannot change the reality that I'm living in. And that is what you are doing at the quantum level. At the quantum level of your consciousness, you are thinking that I am dependent on this person, or I am dependent on this job, and it is not going to change. And my apartment, I will continue to live in this apartment because I don't have money. I don't have this, I don't have that. And that is really what most people are doing to themselves at the quantum level. And the only way that you can change your life, change your fortune, is by understanding the principle and owning responsibility that you have created this after all. And the best, comfort comes from, a fulfilling comfort is that you can change it. How soon? How long does it take? It takes no time at all. Then again, quantum physics come to your rescue. Time doesn't exist. And how you have to manipulate time. How? Through your own consciousness. Through your mind, you can manipulate time. How do you do it? Even Einstein said, when you vibrate at the speed of light, you will change. Time comes to a standstill. And he did it through a thought experiment. Being in a car or a bus, he imagined that he is going at the speed of light. And that led him to discover so many things. So this thought, what he called as thought experiment, I call it as meditation. So I'm going to be teaching meditations to change time. Simultaneously, you will be changing your negative thoughts. Not at the gross mind level. The mind level, you will really be thinking negative thoughts and confirming the negative thoughts. I'm not going to be able to change my house, my job, my health, my intelligence. It's all negative. And this is our nature. Our nature is to remain negative. And that is partly due to the mind working on a very gross level, where there is a different reality when compared to a quantum reality, where the particle is everywhere. It's called non-locality, uncertainty, principles that Einstein hated so much and died with it. And now in 2022, Nobel laureates, 3 Nobel laureates, have forever put an end to this question that of this uncertainty principle not being existing. And now they all agree, the Nobel laureates came up with theories, experiments to prove that. So that is very good for us. If you had been negative all along, and humanity has been that way. It's not that you and I. Everybody has been so negative and continue the negativity. By negativity, I mean, a very bad and uncomfortable, painful reality, whether it is a disease you have or whether it is, a financial problem, very bad financial problem which you continue. Or your inability to learn things. All these things are negative. Anything that is not, helping you to live life to the fullest possible level in joy and happiness and so forth. So this can be done. See, the negativity has to be changed. You keep on observing the old form because you are living in the mind. That's the bottom line. So forget about whatever I have said. You are living at the very surface level of the mind. And that mind says there is a continuity to your negativity, and that is reality. The poor people will always remain poor, and the rich people will always remain rich, because this is the system we have. So we have to go and fight against the system. I'm not there for that. And that is not my business. That is the business. That's what everybody is doing. I have come here to change that system, not system so much, but your consciousness and my consciousness, so that we live in a field of all possibilities at the quantum thinking level, where negativity can be changed to positivity. And of course, nobody wants to change the positivity to negativity. And everybody wants to change only their negativity to positivity. And this is such a simple thing, and it is scientific now. Okay, but nobody wants to teach it because nobody wants, to break away from the tradition. Our educational system is so screwed up, and then behind, about 100 years behind in schools, colleges, and everywhere. Because I went to check if anybody is teaching this quantum physics concept. The observed is the observer. You are seeing what you are seeing. You are sleeping in a bad, bed, and it is not there. Out there, you are have created, and continue to keep that. And that's the sad thing. And quantum physics is challenging it. And where is the proof? The proof is, I will tell you one thing. This is a concept in Buddhism as well as in Hinduism. And they say that there is nothing that is existing outside your mind. Everything is your mind. For instance, you are sleeping. You do not know that the building exists, the world exists. And when you wake up in the morning, the building is there, and you see the bed, you see the mirror, you see everything. When you are sleeping, what happened? How did it disappear? You did not die. Your mind was not there. This they developed into a knowledge system called mind only. It's mind only. Only the mind exists. Matter outside doesn't exist at all. That is why they delve deep into going into the mind and trying to understand the mind and bring the mind to the quantum level. Through meditation, you start from thinking 35, 40 thoughts a minute, and then bring it to a few thoughts, pure thoughts, one thought, and then you go deep into that one little thought. And I'm going to define everything and teach you how through one single sound you can transform. That is the sound which I gave to Vendaya. Okay. And he promoted me because of that, and then also deduced a theory out of it and called it manifest your reality. This is what my teacher from India taught me, and he dedicated his book, Manifest Your Reality, Manifest. I forget the name, title. Manifest? Destiny. You manifest your destiny. Okay. And I want you to manifest your destiny for 2023.
Dr. Pillai, I just have one question. Your explanation was very enlightening. However, could you give people a very simple technique that they can do in order to
I've already given the technique. The technique that I gave to Wayne Dyer, although I did not bring in quantum physics there, I gave him one quantum sound, that is the sound ah. And people did many miracles. That is how I came to teach it to the public in general. Close your eyes, and then within a quantum second, if we can do it, it's better. But since your mind is not trained, you can do it for a minute or two or 2, 3 or 4 or even 5. And then say the sound ah rising from the bottom of your spine. And bring it to your pineal gland, the third eye. Now what happens? When the quantum sound ah goes to the third eye, which is the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a miracle gland. that will take you to a different dimension, introduce you to a different time dimension, to a space dimension, and in that dimension, you change your reality. And then keep on saying this sound, however long you can, and that is important. But don't think that you have to do a long time to get a result. If you could do it in a quantum second, a femtosecond, you'll get that too. A quarterlionth of a second is a femtosecond. And it is a matter of experience, not of talking about it and seeing the results. And that is very important.
So we have Dr. Pillai's session there explaining to us everything we need to know right now about quantum thinking and the mind and how we can adjust that. So we are going to review a few of the key points that he addressed in order to drill down the teachings even more. So I'm going to share my screen and we will go through that now. So what is quantum thinking? Quantum thinking is the subtlest thinking, right? So if we get to, he mentioned how we have gross thoughts at the mind level, and then if and when we get to the most subtle level, that is when we're in the quantum mind, the quantum thinking, and that is where things manifest. That is where we are able to bypass time. He mentions our ability to manipulate time through our own consciousness. And when we change time and change our negative thoughts, we are at the quantum level, and how that is so important for us to be able to get to that place. When your thoughts are at the subtlest level, that is when your reality changes. That is when your time changes. Your timeline also changes, because he mentions how we're innately negative, right? As humans, we are innately always thinking, this won't happen to me. We have doubts, we have fears. And when we are able to get into that quantum level of thinking, the continuum of our negativity can then shift. We are in a continuum of negativity, which says, well, it happened this way, but in the past, so it's going to happen this way in the future. And how do we get beyond that? How do we bypass that? That is quantum thinking. That is getting to that quantum level. So changing our negativity to positivity through this process. As I mentioned, our mind is working at this gross level, and we want to be able to bring it into the quantum, the subtle level. Dr. Pillai mentioned that he can give us access to be training ourselves in this through certain techniques. And he gave the meditation, which we will get into in another couple of slides. And that is how we're able to shift from this negative continuum reality into a fulfilling positive, with joy, with peace, with everything positive that reinforces the manifestations that we want to bring forth. Remember, all of this is so that we can manifest the reality that we want to experience. Right now, we are manifesting a reality we don't want to experience. And part of what he says for this shifting into the positivity, into the positive realm, the quantum physics of negativity and positivity, is to take responsibility. Take responsibility for the fact that we are creating our life. We are creating every aspect of it, the good, the bad. And once we realize that everything comes from the mind, in fact, he says nothing exists outside the mind. And there is something called mind-only concept. So you are always creating a reality, the negative and the positive. And to shift from the negative into the positive takes a breaking of that patterning. Since we are innately negative, we are always going to be thinking in our non-subtle, our gross level mind, the mind level, That's going to happen continuously as a human. And it is our responsibility to break that continuum in order to create that new reality. And the new reality is for you to be sticking on to the positive thought and using techniques to get into the quantum level of thinking so that that shift can happen instantaneously. He says very specifically, you are observing the old form because you live in the surface level of the mind. We all do, right? So we're observing an old form, an old ideation, an old part of our life, because we're living in that surface level of the mind, the negative level of the mind. The mind is innately negative. And what we have to do, again, breaking that pattern. He says that he has come here to the earth plane to change our consciousness, where negativity can be changed to positivity. And that is what this technique is about. And that is what this course is about also. Very important point is that the observed is the observer. When we look at something, we are observing it from the perspective of the observer. We are the observer. So our life is a reflection of how we are observing it. So very important, again, taking responsibility for how we are playing a part in the creation and construction of our reality every single day, every moment of every day. So important, okay? Nothing exists outside the mind. Now we move into how do we change, right? So we understand that the mind is always negative. We understand that we are the observer and our reality around us is created by our thoughts, by our creation, by our negativity and positivity. Okay, we're taking responsibility for that. Now, how do we shift out of that? What is the technique to get us from this negativity into a positive reality? This is the meditation. Dr. Pillai gave it to Dr. Wayne Dyer decades ago, which was published in the book Manifest Your Destiny. And now we can do it. So the technique is placing your attention at the root chakra, the very base of your spine, saying the sound ah, either out loud or internally, and bringing that energy all the way up the Sushumna, the central channel, the nadi, in the middle of your body, through the spine, all the way up to the third eye, the pineal gland. And that is where you hold the intention and the vision for what it is you want to manifest. The pineal gland will introduce you to a different dimension, which can change your reality. So if you're putting your attention on the pineal gland and then you're using this quantum sound of ah, you're now infusing that thought, that visualization, that sensation, that embodiment of your manifestation, which you're holding in your third eye. You're now infusing it with the ah meditation, the sound of creation, right? You're bringing this creative force, this quantum sound from the root chakra, from the creative center, all the way up into the third eye, and you're joining them together for this manifestation. And you cannot be inside of a negative reality when you're using this sound. Just try it. Let's do it right now. One moment. We're going to do it for 1 minute. Place your attention at the very root of the very base of your spine, your root chakra. It's what you're sitting on. It's very base. Now begin to feel a warmth, a sensation at the root chakra. Now feel the sound ah at the root chakra. Now move that sound ah up from the base of the spine through the Sushumna, the central nadi, the central energy that is along your spine, and feel the sound ah come all the way up into the third eye. Now visualize in the third eye a new manifestation, a new reality. Is it a home? Is it a relationship? Is it a healthy body? Is it financial freedom? It is what your bank account looks like. Whatever it is you want, visualize it and feel it and see it in all its reality. You can feel it, you can smell it, you can sense it. See it in the third eye, feel it in the pineal gland. Okay, holding that image and again, moving the sound from the base of the spine, ah, all the way up to the third eye, joining it, infusing that visualization with the sound of ah. Again, down to the base of the spine, feeling the sound ah. Ah, all the way up to the third eye, infusing the sensation in the pineal gland with the sound of ah. Do that a few more times on your own. You can move the energy as quickly or as slowly as you like. And now come back to yourself and open your eyes. See how you feel now. Does the world look a little brighter? Do you feel a little more happy? The sound ah cannot put you in a bad mood, right? This is the shifting of reality. You're changing your reality through the sound of ah. So I hope that you had a good experience there. Please share in chat what might have opened up for you or what type of experience you just had. So now that we learned what quantum thinking is, we learned the intensity and the intention of negativity versus positivity and how it impacts our manifestation process. We learned about the ah meditation. Now we're going to put it into practice. So how do you take these techniques and these teachings and put it into your daily life? First and foremost, you want to be able to be beginning to monitoring your thoughts so that you can interrupt them when negativity encroaches upon what it is you want to manifest. So whenever those gross level thoughts are coming into play, no, I can't do this, I'm not worth this, this won't happen, blah, 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 interrupt them with the ah meditation, just ah, and moving the energy from the base of the spine to the third eye, just ah, interrupt, okay? So monitoring your thoughts, interrupting with the ah meditation, and shifting from a negative state, negative thoughts, to a positive state. How can you flip whatever it is you were thinking about that was a negative aspect, that was self-defeating, and flip it into the positive? And this is something you will want to do throughout your day as much as you possibly can. It does take practice. Give yourself some grace and some ability to get better at it. Okay, that's one thing you want to do. And next, do the ah meditation. As I mentioned, you can do it throughout the day, just real quickly, and you can sit in meditation and do it for anywhere from 5 to 20, 60 minutes, whatever amount of time you have. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a long 1 hour meditation. If you have 5-10 minutes in the morning, do it then. If you go out to your car on your lunch break and sit for 10 minutes, do it then. It doesn't matter when you do it. It's just a matter of doing it at least once a day, putting it into play. Okay. And it's as simple as I just taught you, as well as what Dr. Pillai did. And that is how you'll begin to shift into the quantum realms. The longer you do it, the better your experiences will be. So if you get used to it, start out with 5 minutes, grow to 10, 15, 20, 30, etc. You will have more experiences the longer you intensify your relationship and your experience with the ah meditation. So that is what you'll want to do. So before we move on, I do want to check and see if we have any questions in our chat about what we just learned. So first, I would like to see if we have any questions with what we just went through. Then I will introduce you to the program. Some of you are asking about the program. There's actually many different ways that you can participate in it. And I know there are some questions because there is a lot going on. And we want to be able to help you decide which part of the program that you'd like to participate in, how you can get started, things of that nature. All right, I don't see. Okay, good. Someone said, felt energy rising quickly. Now the question, if we cannot visualize, will this still work? Yes, hold the thought. Whatever it takes for you to just hold the thought. If you can't see it, then just know, you must know somewhere in your body, in your heart, in your mind, what it is you want to manifest. Hold that intention. If you can't see it in your mind's eye, that's okay. It'll work. It'll work itself out because it'll begin to work on you, right? The more you do it. Dr. Pillai had a session today where he talked about the Shreem Brzee mantra. That is another mantra that you can use. So this technique we just did for you can also use Shreem Brzee, especially if that's something that you are doing already and you really want to keep that practice in place. All right, let's see if there's any other questions or comments. Thank you. Evelyn said feeling calmness or void. That's good. Subtle energy running in the third eye. Fantastic. Thank you. Someone said, I spent all this day seeing Pillai Center meditations, activating the third eye. I feel sensible, alive. Perfect. Already a part of the program and very excited. Super great. Congratulations. Can I think all manifestations in a single chant? Better, good question. Better to focus on one at a time. Why? Because the pineal gland is tuning in to what it is you're creating. And if you have multiple things, it's not as easy for you to be focusing on. So you can also try it out and see which one works better for you. I personally like to keep one manifestation intact at a time so that I can give it more of my energy, more of my focus, more of my intention and visualization. So that's how I would suggest doing it. However, if you can hold all of your manifestations with clarity, then more power to you. Dr. Pillai does recommend that we do limit how many goals we're focusing on at any given time, just because of the amount of energy we can give to them. So perhaps it's up to 3 different important priority goals. Doesn't mean you can't have secondary goals that you're working on, but the ones that you are really focusing on wanting to create, I would keep it up to 3 of them. And I would also keep the meditation focused on one at a time. It doesn't mean you can't move on. So you start with, you have one manifestation, it's in the third eye, and then you do the meditation, you're moving energy up, and then you do that for 5 minutes, and then you close that one out and you move into your next manifestation, your next visualization, what you want to create. And then do that for 5 minutes and move on to the next. So that way you can do it in succession. So there's different ways that you can put this into practice. I would play with it and see what works best for you. I personally enjoy just doing one at a time. It helps me to really grasp onto it with more passion and more focus. Do we visualize the manifestation only when the reaches the pineal gland, or do we visualize the manifestation before the Good question. So you will visualize it, it can go either way. I find it easier to visualize it first, kind of get it set in your third eye, in your pineal gland, and then move the energy up from the Sushumna, up the Sushumna into the third eye. So visualize, experience, see it, feel it, and then move the energy and energize it. You're joining these 2 powers, the power of your visualization and your ability to think at a quantum level, and this quantum sound that is piercing the manifestation. What is the mantra to chant to remove lethargy? I would try the meditation or Shreem Brzee. Those are both very energizing. Now, part of this course, we will be doing Shreem Brzee, we'll be doing meditation, we will be doing a couple more mantras in the first quarter. So Dr. Pillai has put together a whole itinerary for the entire year that we'll be working on, and it will be many different mantras and techniques that will help us literally be creating from the inside out. Remember how I said thoughts are creating our world, mind only. So when you're thinking and creating, you're observing what is around you. As the observer, you're creating what is around you. That is what we'll be focusing on for a full quarter. The first quarter of this year-long program is creating from the inside out. It is honing in the skills of how you refine your thoughts and what you want to manifest so that they are appearing on the outside. That is what we will focus on for 3 full months, so a full quarter. So let me now, I think I got all the questions, continue to post and I will get back to them. But let me now move into the next portion of the slides, which get into the course, since we're getting some questions. So now that you're excited about quantum thinking and shifting from negativity to positivity, and how you have the ability to create your life and your future based on these techniques and the empowerment of Dr. Pillai, how can you get started in this course? So there are 4 different ways to join. The first and foremost is Dr. Pillai's New Year's Day Quantumizing Shreem Brzee initiation. Everybody should be able to join this program. It is so affordable. It's literally 1/3 of the price of any other initiation that Dr. Pillai has done for the entire year, for many years. So we intentionally made this extremely affordable that anyone should join. So first and foremost, everybody should go join that. Just put yourself into that program. If you want to upgrade later, you can do it later. But if that is, and of course, this is the only thing you want to do, fantastic. So January 1st is available to everyone. And if you cannot afford the $49, then write to us, or actually add your name to the application for a scholarship. We will be selecting 15 people to be recipients of a scholarship who will receive that free of charge. Okay, so that's January 1st, Quantumizing Shreem Brzee initiation. Dr. Pillai will be teaching a new technique. Next is you can do the new year, January 1st, plus another session on January 14th. I'll get into the details of that. The next option is 1 full quarter of creating from the inside out, January through March. And the 4th option is a year long. So if you really want to commit and join us for 1 full year, there are 4 different modules. That is how you can participate. And I will go through the details of all of those. So first, January 1st, it is actually one of the most powerful wealth days of the entire year. It is Vaikuntha Ekadashi. It is when Vishnu opens the gates of heaven. So here we are on the first day of the year, Vaikuntha Ekadashi, blessings of Vishnu, and Dr. Pillai is giving a Shreem Brzee initiation. It really does not get better than that. The stars have aligned along with the Gregorian calendar for us to really start 2023 in the most powerful way. So this is why also it is so important for you to make the commitment and invest in this program and this initiation. He will help us to bring Shreem Brzee to the quantum levels and help us accelerate our manifestation with Shreem Brzee. So that's January 1st. Next, you can do both live sessions with Dr. Pillai, and that is January 1st and January 14th. The 14th is an initiation into the third eye, thinking from the third eye. It will, it will include a teaching and an empowerment initiation on this very special day, another very special day, which Dr. Pillai calls the, excuse me, which Dr. Pillai calls the Vedic, it is the Vedic winter solstice, and Dr. Pillai calls it the spiritual new year, where we have the calendar new year on January 1st. When the sun moves into Capricorn, it's considered the spiritual new year, and the gods are awakening, and we have more support from the sun. Next, we have the quarter, which happens from January 1st through the end of March. The first 3 months are dedicated to Module 1 teachings, which is creating from the inside out. You can join just these 3 months if you like. And inside of the course content are these subtopics. Creative visualization. What can you do to visualize exactly your manifestation? Engaging the senses, using all your faculties to bring forth the image of what you want to manifest. Remember, mind only. We are creating our life as we think it. We are observing and creating. Okay, so the visualization technique that supports creating from the inside out. Next, faith. Faith is other positivity. Again, going back to the negativity and the positivity, and how we embrace the faith of being able to manifest from the inside out. Next is the viewed and the view is the viewed is the viewer, the observed is the observer. How we are constantly in the creative mode. Next is quantumizing Shreem Brzee. So using the technique from January 1st and implement it throughout these 3 months. You can join this as the quarter. The pricing is right here, only $210 for the whole quarter, or you can do a payment plan for the quarter, which is $77 per month. There you have it. So that's module 1 from January through March. Next, if you are interested in the year-long program, you'll move from there, you'll move into the module 2. It's overcoming negative thinking. That is going from April through June. We will be diving into all the ways in which your negative thinking comes upon you, right? It doesn't just happen randomly. We have soul genetics, we have biogenetics, we have planetary influences, we have environmental influences. All of these influencers who are constantly bombarding us, causing us to think in certain ways. Okay. So we will be learning all of the ways to overcome this and shift from an unhappy mind into a happy mind, where we'll be using certain techniques from Dr. Pillai that will help us to accelerate that process. That's module 2, and that's from April through June. Next, module 3, embodying your God self. And that's quarter 3, and that's July through September. Your God, Dr. Pillai always says, you are God, right? Although we feel very human, it is important for us to tap into our divine essence, our fullness, who we are at our true essence is divine. So he says we need to understand that your individual soul, where it is, it's in the brain and how it functions, and then understand our God self soul, our larger soul. We have individual soul and we have an unlimited soul. He also wants to teach us about God genetics and super synergy and how we were created in God's image. Unconditional love and selfless service are other topics that we will explore in this module. Module 4, end of the year, we are diving into outrageous thinking. How can we evaluate our thoughts, cultivate super thoughts, embody and create out-of-the-box thinking, really bypassing time and compressing time so that we can manifest. This is where the third eye thinking will come into play even more. So those are the 4 topics, 4 modules that will be happening throughout the whole year. If you are going to be enrolling in the year-long option, there's actually 3 levels to that: the fundamental, intermediate, and premier. In the fundamental level, we have the January 1st live event with Dr. Pillai, Quantumizing Shreem Brzee. Then we have sessions, class sessions that happen every other week, group coaching and teaching sessions, which include the fundamental teachings of the program. And you'll also be receiving pradosham or karma removal hydrations twice a month on those special days. The pricing for this is here. Again, we have kept this a third, of what the program should really be costing in order for this to be able to reach more of you and really get you excited about making that commitment for 2023 and not letting it slip away. So this is the fundamental level of the year-long program. Next, we have the intermediate level of the year-long program. You get everything that was in fundamentals, plus the live session on January 14th, and more teaching. So advanced teachings for each of those modules that I went through. So you will all be coming together once a week. Fundamental level will be meeting every other week. Intermediate level will be meeting every week with twice as many teachings and techniques as fundamental. And you will also receive a monthly Shreem Brzee Full Moon Fire Lab performed on your behalf in India. And here's the pricing for that. The final third level of the year-long program is Premier. It is all the teachings from intermediate. There are no additional teachings, but there are other components. So for example, we have one more live session with Dr. Pillai happening midway through the program. We'll have monthly thought labs where he wants us to experiment with our thoughts. We will be guiding you through thought experiments on how to witness your thoughts, how to shift your thoughts, and how to bring these techniques into your daily life to make a shift, to make a significant pattern change. You will have a personal astrology reading, which helps you understand how your astrology will impact your life throughout the entire year of 2023. Very important how this is playing into your thought patterns and what may or may not happen. What planets will support you making money or having good health, what planets won't support you making money or having good health. And just knowing that in advance so you can do something about it. You can be proactive in how the planets are impacting you. Then you'll have a one-on-one coaching consultation with a Pillai Center coach in order to understand that better. So you'll have your astrology reading with your astrologer. Then you'll have a consultation, which helps you put all of this together. How do you include all of the teachings for this course? How do you include the astrology that you just learned about in your life, and help you guide you to really make the most of all the education and the astrological information. Then you have custom remedies done on your behalf. I believe it's, there's many of them throughout the year, every month. So those will be based on your astrology reading, what you need, what you personally need. Those are customized just for you. You will also receive daily 9 planet pujas. So you're covering the gamut of all the 9 planets to, remedy them regardless of what's going on. So those are group remedies, but then you have customized as well. And here's the price point for this program. So that is all of the options. All of these programs start on January 1st at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So if you would like to participate in any one of them, please make sure you join by this date. I would give it at least an hour before the cutoff so that you make sure you receive your registration information and can join Dr. Pillai live on January 1st at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So now I will see if there are any more questions. Go back. Question about the meditation. So we just say, yes. Moving from the base of the spine all the way up to the third eye. And you do it with passion. You do it with excitement. The meditation is one that embodies creative force, creative energy. You can say it while you're doing other things. There's a question here. Can I do it while I'm driving or anytime at work? Sure. You might not want to do it out loud if you're around people, but you can certainly do that anytime. Let's see. As early bird, what do we get and where do I find that in the course? The early bird has expired. So those of you who took advantage of that, congratulations to you. That was Shreem Brzee ceremonies that will be done for you up to 90 days. And that will be starting in January. So we didn't start those yet, but that has passed. Right now, the price is so compassionately priced that we basically gave everyone the early bird in terms of price points. So in order for folks to be registering as late as possible, as needed, we understand the holidays have been around and all of you are probably looking at your budget and deciding what to do with your funds. So we purposely kept it as affordable as we possibly could. Any other questions? All right, I will give it just another minute for questions, and then we will wrap it up. I will remind you that this is first of 4 sessions that we will be hosting. Tomorrow, we will be talking about the quantum mind. It is going to be hosted by Pillai Center teacher Sucharita, and she will be joining us at the same time. And hold on one moment. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. So we'll be hosting tomorrow's session. Sutrita will be joining and hosting that. And then on the 30th, we will host the third session. And that is the 29th is quantum mind belief system. The 30th is quantum thinking. And then the 31st is quantum creating in the new year. So Sutrita will be hosting the next two. I will be back on New Year's Eve on December 31st to talk about how to put all this all together. How do you pull together all the teachings that Dr. Pillai has done for us and begin to use them in the new year? So we'll look forward to you joining and having a powerful New Year's Eve to close out year 2022, joining your community in doing so. We'll also be having the Shreem Brzee technique that Dr. Pillai did on today's live session. If you have not yet watched that video, please do. It's fantastic. And that is how we are going to close out 2022 in service to you. The next session is at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So every session is 6 p.m. Pacific time on this channel, Pillai Center Practice. All right, I think that's everything. So we will go ahead and close out now. Thank you all for being here. We wish you an amazing next few days as you're wrapping up 2022. Remember to be doing this technique, do the meditation, monitoring your thoughts, shifting your reality from negative to positive, and we will see you here tomorrow. Namaste.
पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णम् उदच्यते 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 पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते